We're going to dice up our onions to begin. I remember when I was taking culinary arts in high school, my teacher, Mr. Morris, would say, rock the baby to sleep, rock the baby to sleep. The tip of the knife should never leave the board. Because you just would hold the tip down and rock your knife back and forth like that. Put that monkey claw up so you don't cut your finger. 36 years, I've never been to the ER with a finger in a Ziploc bag.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to do something different today. We're going to make some lasagna for dinner, and we're going to have Mr. Patterson make our meat sauce because I've tried, and I just can't get the meat sauce that he makes when he makes spaghetti. And that's the taste I'm always going for when I make lasagna, but it never quite gets there. So today we're going to have him make it. So let's go over our ingredients. We got a half of an onion, white onion, ricotta cheese, 1 egg, Parmesan, mozzarella. We got 2 jars of marinara sauce. And then we have a bowl of seasonings that Mr. Patterson secretly put together. Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and some black pepper, sugar, a little oil, some garlic, minced garlic. We have Italian sausage, ground beef. We got our water going, and we got our skillet ready. So we're going to let Mr. Patterson take over and start the meat sauce.
Alrighty, hands are all clean, ready for action. So the first thing we're going to do is get our pan nice and hot because I always start any pasta sauce that I do by sauteing the onions or garlic or whatever I'm using in a little bit of hot oil. So we're going to add our oil, vegetable oil, to the pan and let that get nice and warm. So I know some people aren't a fan of onions. Obviously that's something optional. You could do a little bit. This is a half of white onion chopped, so you could do a little less than that. You could eliminate the onion at all. It doesn't really take away from the overall effect of the dish, but I like it personally. I'm going to give this a minute or so. Work the oil around. You just want to saute the onions down so that when you do get a bite in the dish, it's not, like a rock hard, like raw vegetable type of deal. It blends in with the rest of the pasta.
Okay.
We're going to get those in.
So I'm sure everybody wants to know, how did you learn how to cook?
So, funny story. So in high school, obviously being a young man, you want to be where the girls are. And all the girls were taking culinary arts. So I said, I like to eat. Why not, right? And who would have known that I actually would have fell in love with actually cooking and actually learned something, and it stuck with me and now serves me well for feeding my family. I cook great dinners for my wife, so it started out with girls and ended up with girls. So.
Well, you're an awesome cook. He taught me how to actually prepare meals when we first got together. I was a hot dog and noodles and Oreo eating girl.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad?
And one day he told me, I came over to his house for dinner, and one day he told me, you're going to have to eat some real food. You can't eat Oreos every day. And he made me, cream of chicken.
Smothered cream of chicken, homemade mashed potatoes, mixed vegetables, and baked croissants. And I haven't been able to shake her since then.
I've been clinging to him like what they be saying, clinging to like a newborn baby. Now my mom used to cook, but we were teenagers and we really didn't want what she was cooking. But when I met Dimarco, he said, "Oh, I don't eat like this. I don't eat junk food. I actually cook," and I had no choice.
Alright, so our onions are well on their way. We'll give them a couple more minutes to saute up a bit. Alright guys, so our onions have sauteed for about, we'll say 4 to 5 minutes. And they have a little bit of brownness on them. They haven't disappeared on me. It's not like hot dog onions. But got a little color on them, a little character as I like to call it. So now I'm going to remove these from the pan because I want to get my meat going in the same pan, and then we'll bring these onions back into the mix later. Alright, set those to the side. Now this is, I'd say about a pound of mild Italian sausage, and it was ground already for convenience. You can buy it from the store like this. Some people would like to buy their Italian sausage and slice it or do whatever themselves, but this saves you a step. So we're going to go into the pan with this. Everyone wants to have paper for dinner. This is going to be a double meat lasagna because we're going to add some ground beef as well. Alright, so my ground Italian sausage is all cooked up. Got it all broken down. And just like with the onions, we're going to put this to the side for now. And we're going to bring everybody back to the pool later on. Next up, I have about a pound of ground beef. You don't have to do multiple meats. It just adds another level of flavor to your lasagna. The Italian sausage definitely gives it a nice kick. And everything's going to have great flavor because I'm doing it all in the same pan. So out with the sausage and in with my ground beef. I'm going to do the same, break that down, saute it up really good. And then it'll be the fun part of combining everything.
So while he's cooking up the meat, I have the lasagna noodles ready. We usually get our noodles from Aldi's, and they have oven ready noodles, and to me they just don't cook up well when it's in there. They say it's supposed to be completely immersed in the sauce and it'll cook all the way through, but it just doesn't. So I boil it for about maybe 5-10 minutes until it goes down into the pot, drain the water off, and then I dry the noodles. So that's what is going on with the back pot over there.
Alright, so I got my ground beef all cooked up, broken down, nice and fine. And now it's probably my favorite part. It's time to build the perfect sauce. So, all the ingredients we listed earlier now all go into the pan here. So ground beef is still in. This is our tablespoon of minced garlic. And that garlic is typically in olive oil, which adds even more flavor. Those onions that I sauteed earlier, that's a half a white onion. I'll bring in my seasoning mix, which is a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, a tablespoon of garlic powder, and a tablespoon of black pepper. Don't tell anyone. Then I'll come with my Italian sausage. And again, on the meat, I had about a pound of each. Before I add my marinara sauce, I'm going to give these guys a good toss so everyone gets acquainted. I have my burner at about a medium heat because everything is done. You just want to keep it hot as the seasonings and the marinara sauce gets incorporated. I'll add my first one. And again, we'll give it a good toss, get everything incorporated. And then I will be adding another one. And a good pasta sauce is just like a good soup or chili. Once you get all your ingredients in and everything mixed up how you like it, you definitely need to give it a taste before you serve, just to make sure it's to your liking. Because once you mix that pasta up, or you mix all the ingredients into that soup or chili, sometimes there's no going back. If you've added too much of something or you need more, sometimes it's too late to make a turn and go back. So you want to give it a small taste test for quality assurance before you serve. All right, now I'll add my second sauce, and then we'll let this simmer, get nice and warm, or hot I should say. And then in about 5 minutes, I'll give this a taste test and send it on down the line for assembly with my lovely wife's lasagna noodles. And we are on our way to a nice Sunday dinner, guys.
And I've already taken the lasagna noodles out. I didn't want them to cook all the way because we're going to let them finish cooking in the sauce in the oven. So they're over on the counter drying down, and we will be ready to assemble.
All right, so our sauce is coming together quite nicely. Everything is simmered together. All of my seasonings, the sauteed onions, the minced garlic, the Italian sausage, and the ground beef. So that went about 5 minutes, all simmering together on a low to medium heat. Now I have one last ingredient that I like to add. For me, it's kind of the difference maker, and that's sugar. Tomato sauces have a very bitter taste because tomatoes are high in acid. So the sugar, you're not putting it in to make it sweet, you're putting it in to cut the acid of the tomato. So this is a cup. I'm probably not going to do the whole cup. I'm going to do about half. We'll stir it, I'll give it a taste, and then decide if I need to add a little more. And again, this is optional. You don't have to if you don't want to. You're not doing it to make it sweet. You're just doing it to cut that bitterness of the tomato. We'll get that all mixed in. It's nice and hot, so it should dissolve quickly and efficiently.
I've stole his secrets, guys, because I know exactly where I've messed up. When I'm making my lasagna meat sauce, I use brown sugar to sweeten it up, to break up the bitterness. And now that I know.
Because you know, and I've done that too, but you got to think about it. Brown sugar is popular because of the molasses in it. Mm-hmm. That's the only difference between brown sugar and granulated sugar or white sugar, is the molasses in the brown sugar. So the molasses will stand in the way of what you're trying to accomplish with the sugar.
And for mine, it usually just is way too sweet when I use the brown sugar. So that's a good tip to take with me. I still probably won't try to do it. I'll just have him do it because I kid you not, guys, he's been making this sauce for 15 years and it has always been great. No matter what kind of jar sauce he used, he's able to jazz it up.
So I think we're well on our way. I'm going to give it a taste just to be sure, to see if I need any more sugar. Typically I don't, but we'll give it a taste and see. My lady?
Okay.
It's hot. Be careful. What do you think?
I think that I'm just not going to even try anymore. That's good. That's good. But I know you want to add a little more sugar. I think it's perfect. What do you think?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I will add a pinch more sugar. I think if I didn't have the Italian sausage, I think that amount that I put in would be okay. But that's a different flavor component, so I'm going to go ahead and add just a little more. So at the end of it all, I would say we use maybe 3/4 of a cup, because as you can see, I got a little bit left there. So I'll stir this in. We'll let this simmer maybe 2 more minutes, and it's all ready to go.
Thank you so much for preparing our meat sauce, because...
In Italy, we call it a ragu.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, ragu. Thank you, because I absolutely hate when I'm making lasagna and the meat sauce just isn't what I expect and what I want. And
it's a man's job.
Yeah.
It's a man's job.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
I mean, this taster, we're not going to let this go to waste. Would you like some more?
Yes, actually.
All right.
We're ready to rock and roll, huh?
Yeah, I think we're all set to build. Noodles are ready. Sauce is lined up, ready to go. So,
well, thank you so much for showing your handsome face and
helping these old bones together.
and helping me with my meat sauce. I mean ragu. And everyone say
ragu.
Everyone say bye to Mr. Patterson, and he'll be back soon because he's going to help me cook something else. I won't tell you all what it is, but he's going to be making another visit. Okay, guys, so I'm going to make the ricotta mixture that is layered in between it. So we got, I believe this is a pint. Yep. Turn it around. I can't even see. It's 15 ounces. Usually I use the entire thing because I end up running out right at the bitter end and don't have enough. And that just angers me. But lasagna is so hard for me to make, but I enjoy the layering part because I watched my mom over the years do the layering, and that was the best part about it. But all the other parts I can't deal with. It's way too much to handle. So I'm going to dump this out. And if you hear the kids in the back, they're playing their video games and TikToking and rocking and whatnot. So this is a normal thing for us. Okay. We got an egg. Give it a tap. And I need parsley. I believe this is a new jar of. So we got our parsley here. So with the parsley, I usually just go by how it looks. And I want the grainy kind of look. So I can't really tell you how much I put in there. Cooking for me is not like how baking is, why I measure it right to the T. I just kind of do what looks right. It has to look right to me. And then I have Mr. Patterson come in and taste it. And he usually gets mad at me and tell me to trust my instincts, but I can't because I'm going based off of how it looks.
Trust the same instincts that made you pick me.
So we're going to stir that up and see if it's got the grainy look that we want. Now some people surprisingly don't like the ricotta mixture in there. I'm not sure why. I thought that was a major part of lasagna, but I have always made the ricotta mixture. My kids eat it. My husband loves it. I've tried it out on my mom. She says it's great. So, I don't know. I'm going to keep doing it that way.
I think for me personally, the ricotta mixture is what takes it from just being pasta up to the next level of making it lasagna.
Yeah.
Because if not, I mean, you just have meat, noodles, and sauce.
Yeah.
So it's just like pasta. It's just along the lines of, you know, spaghetti or mastacholi or something like that.
Yes, it definitely adds a different taste. I agree with you. It just would be pasta and sauce at that point. So it's grainy how I want it. We're gonna add more Parmesan as we're layering. So we're gonna sit this to the side, get rid of our trash and our seasonings. Well, we got to keep our Parmesan near. So we have our noodles that are partially cooked and they're chilling. So let's see. All right, we're going to get the lasagna pan. Something else that my husband got me. If you all haven't caught the theme of the kitchen, it's all red, but we have a few other colors and things in there. We're going to get our meat sauce. Bring it a little closer. And this is my favorite part, guys. My mom does this and can do it with her eyes closed. Uh-oh. So you just put enough at the bottom to lay the noodles on top of so they don't stick and you don't lose a layer. I usually go with about 3 layers. Anything higher than that is just overdoing. And because we have little people, they don't like a lot of busyness in their food.
Oh, who cares about them?
As you can see, I'm making a mess, but we'll clean that up. So we're going to take our first layer, which is the one that cracked on us, but we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to lay that down.
It's like getting in a hot jacuzzi.
So in most casserole dishes, you get 3 rolls. And that's usually what we get when I do it. 3 rolls, and then, like I said, you can go up as high as you want. I prefer to stay about between 3 and 4. Now, this is the tough part. This is where it gets a little messy for me, because you have to spread that ricotta mixture out evenly. So no matter where you cut, you're getting a little bite of ricotta. So I usually hold the noodle and smooth it. I'm sure you all can see from the difference from the baking video. I'm a little more calm in there, a little more prepared, but cooking is just not my favorite thing to do. But I do enjoy watching people cook, especially Mr. Patterson, because he moves through the kitchen like he's been living there for years. Alrighty, so we got that all evened out as best as we could. And we're going to sprinkle a small amount of Parmesan. Then we're going to put our mozz on there. So you just want to sprinkle to cover the top.
Smells like Italy in here.
Now I want to know, how do you all layer your lasagna? Because I heard a lot of people do it kind of different. They put the mozzarella on top of the meat sauce. I personally like to do a small amount on the ricotta cheese and then layer up the meat sauce, because I feel like once the cheese melts down, it'll stick to the noodle that's on top of it. So I do a small amount, small layer, and then I lay the meat sauce down.
I think with cooking, like you and I always discuss, it's trial and error. So a lot of times people will try things based on what they've seen someone do, and then they'll improvise it as they go forward. When you think about it, there's no one way to make any dish.
Yeah.
You know, there's the way your grandparents may have made it. There's the way your mother may have made it. There's the way that the nice lady at the church may have made it. And then there's the way you make it. And it's all the same dish with small improvisations throughout. So
Definitely. And that's how you make it your own. So we're going to smooth that out. We got just about every part covered. We don't want to use too much of our sauce on the bottom layer and have nothing left for the top. But we're going to get this thing sauced up and layered up. So that's how I go about doing it. I put a small amount of cheese, like I said, on this. And I won't keep recording each layer, but I will be back when it's time to go in the oven. Okay, so I'm done layering. And the last layer, I like to put the mozzarella, more Parmesan, and just the extra sauce on the sides, because we have those oven-ready noodles. We want to make sure that it's completely covered, like they said, in the sauce. And while the sauce is cooking in the oven, it'll start bubbling and kind of finish cooking up the noodles. So we're going to put this in the oven. The oven is at about 350, between 300 and 350, so about 325, right? And we're going to let it cook for 25 minutes. Oh, and then we're going to come back and check, and as long as it's bubbling and gooey and looking good, then it's ready. And there we have it. So we usually eat our lasagna with some salad. We have some rolls going in the oven. And that is pretty much our Sunday evening dinner. And we're going to enjoy. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching me and Mr. Patterson cook. This is usually how we get down in the kitchen. And hopefully he will be back. Thank you guys. Bye.